Fred, it's Pat Sloan here. We have Holiday Hoopla today. We have the Harrisonburg, Virginia Quilt Museum quilt along. It's our week 5, and we only have one more row of blocks then before we start doing settings and borders. And then since I didn't do a video yesterday, it was Scrappiness is Happiness Day. I am going to just sort of bag that block until next week. So next Monday I will do this week's block and next week's block. I figured that was just easier for me because I can't do 3 things in one day. It's like, what was I thinking when I put that on the calendar? I should have just said 2 blocks next Monday. So that is where that goes. Of course, you have the schedule and you have the book, so you don't need to see mine in order to do it. Your block this week. And then what did I do over the weekend? It took a day so that I didn't have to film and I could focus on organizing my quilts. I still have a lot of quilts that I've made that I still own, and I need to get them off to charity. So I was doing a sweep through to collect a big group of them. And so I was pulling them out of the shelves. I'll put a few pictures up. And my goal was to get rid of one of the shelving units so that I can start to reduce down. I can't use this many, and they're all business ones, so I have to sort of think through them. But I was folding them, resorting them, making decisions, and then in my hallway, I had to go through and pull things out, refold them. I also went through on all the quilts that need binding. I trimmed them all. So I did all the trimming of all the edges, and I did 2 bindings also. So over those 2, Saturday and Sunday, that was what I focused on. So I didn't have to film. This one I filmed on Monday. So yeah, that is just the way, sometimes you just need to have no interruption. And that was what my Saturday was. No interruption, just like barreling through the whole day, working on those. And it felt really good because I got a lot organized. I did not do any photos. I did not do any putting up to the gallery. This was just purely organizing and decision making. And my brain was tired at the end. I had decision overload. Or decision fatigue, I guess it is. It's like, okay, I cannot make any more decisions. Okay, we have a few fun things today besides the sew-alongs. It is Pie Day. So the mathematical pie. And of course, quilters, we need to have a real pie, right? Of course, I need to get a real pie in real life too. Cherry, please, with a crust, a crust topping. Cherry with crust topping. That is my favorite because actually I just eat pie for the crust. Yeah, I don't want that crumb stuff on top because I don't eat that. That's not my favorite part of the pie. Okay, so here is my farmer's market quilt, which has pies on it. This is in my Teach Me to Applique book, which there's a link in the description box below. And then years ago, for one of the magazines, it was probably McCall's. I didn't write the magazine down, but it was in, wait a second, I did put the date, just not the magazine. It was in 2003. It's the same pie, just slightly bigger. Same drawing. So when I made the farmer's market quilt, I just took the same image and made it a little bit smaller to fit into that quilt. So here are my pie quilt. So cute, right? If I didn't have shamrocks up in my kitchen at the moment, this will go up. This will go up later. I think for the summer. Maybe this will be the summer one, right? I think that would be cute. So I don't know, but there's no pattern for you on that. If you have this quilt, you can just make a similar one. It's just the single pie blocks and some sashing, and then find a star from somewhere and use it. So, okay. So if you have a quilt with pies on it or pie fabric, if you want to talk food pies, go to my Kitchen Adventures group. So talk food, literally just the food part in the Kitchen Adventures group. And I have to say thank you to Ambassador Brenda and Ambassador Lylene, who helped me monitor the Kitchen Adventures group. And Brenda has been cooking a lot. And so you can see she's been using some nifty tools too. So you want to check out the Kitchen Adventures. All right, let's do the mail call first. I've got a fun mail call. Okay, this is from Yvonne in Ohio. And as you might imagine, there might be a few critters showing up. This looked like a critter, so I didn't open it. Yvonne, I didn't open it. I wanted to wait and see. Okay. What do we have? Oh, it's a horse with a quilt blanket on. Oh my goodness. Look how stinking cute that is. Look at its little face. She's got little French, they got French knots? Yeah, French knots for the eyes. Little embroidered handle on the bucket. Just so darling, Yvonne. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Mwah. Okay. There's a couple more things here. This one is from Linda in Ohio. I think that says Ohio. And she sent me a really sweet letter with pigs that fly. And she told me, let me just see, this is something that has to do with Cincinnati. So this is, yeah, the flying pigs are a symbol of Cincinnati. At one time, Cincinnati was called the Porkopolis. That's funny, Porkopolis, which is what it says on the selvage. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. All right, so they have some towers with pigs on them there and all kinds of fun things. So if you are from Cincinnati, you will know all about this. Now I'm in the know. Of course, we all have to be up on the critter stuff. Okay, this is from, oops, from Rhode Island. Let me see. I think she has her name inside. Yeah, Eleanor. Eleanor, and she sent me a whole group of beautiful aqua squares to add to my project. All different ones. So that's awesome. Get some more variety. I have quite a bit. So I think I'm going to, my guess is that I will probably use up everything I have. Hopefully I won't have to cut any more, but if I do, probably not a lot. So I still have quite a few. I've got this whole thing is full of aqua squares. And then I have like half of a shoebox, I think, of ones I cut. So I think I'm pretty good. But I love getting a few more. You never know. That rainbow one was super cute. Okay, April. April in Hawaii. Ooh. So I have a tropical thing. And let's see. Oh, there's a card. These are ones I didn't open in advance. So hold on a second. Let me see, because there's a card. There was a card on that first one too. I'll open that one later. Ah, there we go. Look how pretty. I love this. Stripe, stripe, stripe. And what do we have? Oh, look. Okay, so what are they? They're not monkeys. They're like emus or something. What are they? Lemurs. Lemurs. Whatever. You guys will have to tell me. Link me to a pronunciation for them. Look how gorgeous. So, love the eyes. Look at the fabric she used for the eyes. Oh my gosh, April, that is so cool. Thank you, everybody. Mwah. I think Saturday I can put the Critter Parade up again, and we will see them all together, because I think definitely it's going to be 2 quilts. So I will, put them in some way, like maybe colorations, we'll see, or theme, like maybe some tropical animals and maybe the others like not tropical animals. That's kind of where my brain is leaning. Okay, before we go on to the other projects, be sure that you have subscribed, and well, you can subscribe. Be sure that you know that you can order the January, February boxes for the subscriptions, the Sew Samplers. You can order just the box. You don't have to be a subscriber. And I have a link in the description box where I'm giving one of each away with the Fat Quarter Shop. So you need to go enter at my website, which is link is in the description box below the video here. Okay. Let's talk about Harrisonburg. We have the next block set, which is these green ones. This is what I did with my sleepover fabric. I've got the pink and green version, and there's 5 of these for this week. And then if you haven't started your little spacers, you want to get thinking about those. Now, I have collected up a sampling of some of your photos of the Harrisonburg blocks that you have done and shared on my community page, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan at Facebook. And so I've gathered some of those up, and we'll have a little quilt parade of some of your Harrisonburg blocks. And one of them has the entire center sewn. Let's take a look. We start with Adriana's blocks, and here's a single block, and you can see up close the fabrics. They're really cool. I think they're a tilde line with the ladies in it, and then look at it all together. So you can see it's primarily, she did the blocks where there's some mostly green, some mostly the burgundy, the pinks. So cool. Anne Marie's, look at this. I love the floral she has. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. Anne has got red, and I believe she said that she collected these Russian dolls, these nesting dolls, and so she had this fabric, which is, it's going to be so great. Annie's, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at her wall quote, "Quilting is my happy place." That definitely is a happy quilt. I love it. They are so awesome. You can see the colorations again. Blues, reds. Each block is kept with the coloration, which I really like that. It works really well. Brandy's is so soft and pretty. Looks definitely like spring. Now she switched it up, so each block has got different colors in it. Sort of similar to mine, where I mix, you know, they don't all have the same color. So she's got like a purple and green, teal and yellow. Oh, really nice. Carrie's, this is our ambassador Carrie in Pennsylvania, and she has gorgeous blues. Look at this, and the beautiful fabrics. There's one with trees and one with, says garden in the bottom right. Chris has a 30s inspired here block. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Love it. Here's two of Donna's blocks. I can't wait to see what more of them look like. Wow, she's got the bee fabric in the bottom one, and I love that geometric in the center of the top one. And she's gone scrappy even on the triangles on the corners. Do you see on that blue one? Super cool. Elaine's are beautiful in pink and gray. Those are gorgeous. Love that. Love that print on the left one. That gray floral. Oh my goodness. Gail is also doing blue blocks. Blue is so classic. They are going to be so fantastic. All of you doing the blue. All shades of blue. Joyce has a super happy block. I love that center fabric. Is that a K facet fabric? It kind of looks like it. And then the green and then blue again. Judy's is scrapping it up. Look at this. You can see up close how she's got all different blues and all different backgrounds. And her backgrounds also have other colors in them, which is really nice. You're doing a fabulous job. Here's our ambassador Kendall, where he is doing his blocks with some fabric that gives you the same feel as the cover quilt. So isn't that neat? I love that. Seeing it in real life. Kim is also doing scrappy. She has a lot of light blues in hers. Look at that. Beautiful, Kim. Linda's block is so soft and pretty. I love this fussy cut rose right in the middle. Can't wait to see more of your blocks. And some of you may have shown more blocks. I collected these over a while, so I might have missed it. Another with blues, and this kind of leans a little bit of a purple tint to it with Margot's, and you can see again more pretty florals in that middle. I like how she changed the scale so that it's very tonal right around the center square, and then she did more tone, you know, a print that has a bigger scale. That's the word, bigger scale for the triangles. Okay, another one that, I don't know if these are in the same quilt as Margot's doing two. I think they're the same Margot, but I think she might be doing two of these. And this is on all blues. No, there it is on the bottom left. It just looked different. So there's more of them all together. It's just the coloration of the photo. Okay, Pam, I'm going to show you the full quilt first. So Pam has her full quilt together. Look at this. Spectacular. It is shades of purple and dark, a lot of dark purple and darker medium purples and some light purples. So here is a close-up of the fabrics and the blocks. And she's got her cornerstones and sashing. And then the piece de resistance. She has her borders, square and squares done. But they're looking good. All right, we have a couple more here. Penny has stacks and stacks. Look at that. Stacks and stacks. 6, looks like all the rows, so she is good to go with that beautiful butterfly in the middle. Yes, I love it. And then Raina's has this sort of warm, cozy. I love that orange. Just it's peachy orange there. Goes so well with the floral. All right, everybody, you are doing fantastic. Your Harrisonburg quilts are amazing. Aren't they beautiful? Oh, so great. And such variations. And I love that Kendall's doing one, like the colorations are pretty much like the pattern cover. That's so cool. Okay, we're going to go on the other side and look at Holiday Hoopla. When we come back, I will have this down and we will have all the blocks up. And I'll talk a little bit about sashing for the Holiday Hoopla, because I think I need to be thinking about that now. Okay, so let's go to the other side. Before we jump into Holiday Hoopla, here is a change out for the quilt back here on this back side of the table. It is called Flower Bouquet. It was one of our free Block Wednesdays that I do, and it was in, I think, getting us through the winter of 2019. I love doing this one because I curated the fabric bundle. So it was a bunch of different fabric lines, and that was super fun to do. There was some really beautiful, like this gorgeous purple. I just love that, and it just feels like spring. All of it feels like spring to me. So I'm now getting to look at that when I'm sitting at my sewing machine. So our block this week from my book Holiday Hoopla, we're doing a sampler of nine of the blocks from 9 different quilts in here. And so it is the Thankful quilt, which I have right here. So Thankful is, Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving for me is just one of those wonderful holidays that you get to, just rejoice in your friends, your family, your life, and be thankful for what you have. So we have the tree, the beautiful, beautiful tree. My friend Karen Soltze, who is also the editor at my publishing company, Martingale, she helped me out with this project because we were trying to get stuff fit in by a certain deadline, and it was really hard. So she jumped in and did this one for me. So I love how it turned out. I am going to just do the block, not the surround for the sampler. So the tree will be on it'll be leaning to the side for the sampler. And when you look at antique samplers, that's the way a lot of them are. The trees were put in so that, they were just that 12-inch size block and not the surround to make them stand up like you would normally think a tree does. So so ours will be sideways. So let me get the fabric out here, and then we'll take a look at that real quick. What I'll do is make the block, and then we'll put it up on the wall with the others and take a look at sashing. So that's the focus for today. Like, what are we going to do with the sashing? But let me get the fabric out. So the tree is going to be a bit unconventional in its coloring based on the fabric line, and I'm going to explain why I don't really want to add in any sort of other color to this. So let's take a look. Well, the block is, the tree is like, geez, the trunk is a huge part of this tree. It's a really, really big surface. And with these fabrics, if I were to do this brown, it would just be so out of place with all the other blocks. It'd be this huge brown unit. And I think even putting green there, it would still be the same. Like here, there's 4 blocks, and that works. Plus there's a darker border and that kind of a thing. So it's like a totally different concept with 4 blocks versus 1 block. So I am going to go with the gray, the basic gray for the background. I'm going to do the leaves with these and maybe pop in a couple of the lights. And then I think I'm going to use this for the trunk. So that will be the trunk, which will give it some, because I was thinking of the gray, just the white, and then maybe taking out these. But I think if I put this in as the trunk, it'll give that sort of grounding that the trunk needs, but without being this totally huge other color added in. So that's what I'm gonna do. Who knows? We'll see when it's done. It could be a total fail, but I don't think so. I think it'll be fine. Here it is with the white I really like this. I really, really do. I think that it turned out wonderful considering this, you know, I have a limited number of colors. I decided to not break up the leaves with any of the white background and just keep them all red, which I think was a great choice. Now, if I was going to do it on point, this is what it would look like, but it would look like this in the quilt. And I did fire up my electric, let's see, I'm in the way. There we go. I fired up the electric Quilt to make all of the triangles here. So that was really fun. Very fast. Just had to move a few things on the floor. That's always the way, right? Okay, so let's put it up here and just take a look at some options. So I'm going to point this one in, or I could point it out. So those are the two ways. So the shamrock is pointed out if I point the tree out. Otherwise, I might rotate them both and point them in, but I'm not at that point yet. So just, this was the fabric I originally thought. You know, in your head, you think about that. Now that they're being made, I'm pretty sure this is not the fabric. But what I'm going to do is just put it up here for a second like this. I will pin it there, and then I can look at it, sort of surrounding. Now the thing is, it's light, which I like. So it is light. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I was thinking it would be like, but actually it's not bad. It is very light, which is what I was going for, because I thought the other thing I could do would be, I'm not going to buy any fabric. So famous last words, right? But I'm not. So I could make them all scrappy, where each one has, you know, something different around it in the grays, and the, you know, the gray is what the background is. So if I wanted to do that, I could pin up, you know, here would be like a gray, and then, but they'd have to all be different. So I'm not sold on that idea. I'm not sold on that idea. I'm gonna sort of mull this over. The other thing would be to use the chocolate brown. Now that's dark. That is dark. And or I could use the green. There's a little bit of green here I've used. I might try to use green again, might not. But the chocolate brown is going to be a really dark frame. So what I'm going to do is leave that up for a little bit and see what that looks like. I'll take a picture of all of these. So on tomorrow's article, I'll put a picture. See, now it's super dark, super, super dark. So I might also test the green, because it'll be in the 5 spots, 2 center and then 2 in the outer on the bottom. Okay, and my block a day. There we go, the milk cartons or juice cartons, or however you want to think about it. Super cute. So it's also pie day. Be sure that you get out your pie quilt. If you don't have a pie quilt, you have to have a pie quilt. Who doesn't have a pie quilt? So here's mine, my pie quilt. And if you have pie fabric, show that. Tomorrow I'll show some of my other quilts. This video got a bit long, so I will do that tomorrow. Okay, I'm mulling that over. The dark is interesting. Okay, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.